Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're going to completely transform your kitchen cleanup routine and, quite frankly, save you from some serious plumbing nightmares down the line. Look, if you have a garbage disposal in your sink, you probably interact with it every single day, right? But the truth is, most of us are using it wrong, and it's basically a ticking time bomb for our plumbing. So we're going to break down the exact rules of engagement for this everyday appliance. We've got to tackle this mindset right away. Ask yourself, is your disposal just another trash can? It is time to challenge that mindset right now. Because treating this specific motorized appliance like a catch-all garbage bin, yeah, that's a fast track to nasty smells, massive clogs, and extremely expensive repair bills. It's actually a precision tool designed for a very specific job, and today we're going to learn exactly how to use it. We are building a highly practical survival guide today. Here is what we're covering. Number 1, the sweet spot. 2, the danger zone. 3, sneaky saboteurs. 4, smart grinding protocol. And 5, preventing disasters. Let's get right to it. Section 1, the sweet spot versus the danger zone. There is a very clear dividing line between a happy drain and an absolute catastrophe. Let's talk about the safe zone first, your sweet spot. These are your small, water-friendly scraps, like soft fruit peels, coffee grounds, and eggshells. Basically, if an item is already cut up, thin, or naturally soft, it's generally a green light. But then you have the danger zone. Sure, glass and metal and stones are obvious no-nos, but think about certain foods, like fibrous celery strings or large quantities of corn husks. It turns out those don't actually grind up. They literally wrap around the internal blades and strangle the motor. They are essentially plumbing kryptonite. And here is an absolutely crucial takeaway. Never ever pour grease or fat down the drain. I know they might look like harmless, easy-flowing liquids when they leave a hot pan, but the second they hit the cooler temperatures of your plumbing, they rapidly solidify. They will completely coat the inside of your pipes, catching other debris and creating impenetrable blockages that even the absolute strongest disposal motor cannot clear. Moving on to Section 2, the gray area. Sneaky saboteurs. It's really fascinating how everyday foods can completely trick us. Take the starchy category, for example. Things like rice, pasta, and potatoes. You might think they're soft and totally safe, but they actually act like expanding sponges when they mix with water. You're basically creating a swelling pasta monster inside your pipes. Then you have greasy items like meat trimmings and heavy sauces. These don't just coat the pipes. They create the perfect, sticky environment for lingering, terrible odors and severe buildup. And finally, voluminous waste. Even if a food is technically safe, dumping thick layers of it down the drain all at once causes major buildup, especially if it's ground too slowly or without enough water. Honestly, when in doubt with these gray area items, just scrape them into the trash or the compost. Section 3. Operating Protocol. How to grind. I want you to really absorb this quote from the source material. Using your disposal correctly is often more important than what you put in it. That is a massive paradigm shift. You could be putting all the right, perfectly safe foods down the drain, but if your physical technique is wrong, you're still going to ruin the appliance. Your daily routine is the ultimate key to making this thing last. So, here is the exact step-by-step protocol you really need to memorize. Step 1. Start the cold water. Not hot, cold. Why? Because cold water keeps any sneaky fats solid so they can be ground up rather than melting them only to solidify deeper down in your pipes. Step 2, turn on the unit. Step 3, seed small scraps in gradually. Please don't shove a whole plate of waste in at once. Break down large scraps and feed them slowly to reduce motor strain and process the waste evenly. And step 4, which is the one pretty much everyone forgets, continue running the water for a short time after the grinding sound changes to a clear hum. This final step is absolutely critical because it flushes all those tiny process particles entirely through and out of your plumbing system. Section 4, maintenance and preventing disasters. Through the source material, we uncovered a few rapid-fire don'ts that are absolute lifesavers for your disposal. First, never run it without water. Water is literally the vehicle that carries the waste away. Second, like we mentioned, do not overload it with big batches. Third, if you hear the motors struggling or jamming, stop immediately. Never force the unit to grind through resistance. You've got to clear the cause safely. Fourth, for obvious safety reasons, keep your hands and tools completely out of the chamber while the unit is plugged in. And lastly, pay close attention to this one. Do not rely on chemical drain cleaners. When a disposal clogs, people naturally panic and pour harsh chemicals down the sink. But the source makes it extremely clear that these chemicals can actually damage your plumbing pipes and often make your disposal problems significantly worse. Now, even with perfect maintenance, things can sometimes go wrong, so you need to know your early warning system. If you hear unusual noises, like metal on metal grinding or a humming sound but nothing is actually moving, that's a huge red flag. If you're dealing with persistent drainage issues where the sink backs up regularly, or if you detect strong, reoccurring odors that just won't go away no matter how much you clean, it's time to call in a professional. Getting the appliance inspected early when you notice these signs can prevent a minor, inexpensive issue from snowballing into a massive, costly plumbing repair.
So we end right where we began, but hopefully with a completely new perspective. By pairing smart waste choices with a strict cold water routine, you can pretty much eliminate the nightmare of a backed up sink. The next time you're hovering over the drain, plate in hand, just ask yourself, are you feeding a precision machine or are you just clogging a pipe? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy grinding.